For centuries, the Galactic Council believed they understood humanity. Humans were young compared to the ancient civilizations that ruled the galaxy. Their fleets were respectable, their technology innovative, but they were still considered a developing species, clever, ambitious, yet ultimately predictable. That belief would collapse in a single moment, because humanity had been hiding something the galaxy had never seen before, something called Mark III, humanity's reputation. In the halls of the Galactic Council, discussions about humanity were common. They adapt quickly, said one council analyst. They are dangerous, another replied, but limited. Human ships were powerful but not overwhelming. Their weapons were effective but not revolutionary. Their military doctrine emphasized cooperation and strategic defense. To most alien powers, humanity seemed cautious, reasonable, even restrained. But that restraint wasn't weakness. It was preparation. The border conflict. The turning point began with a conflict along the Perseus trade corridor. A powerful militaristic species known as the Dravic Dominion had begun expanding aggressively. Their fleets were enormous, their warriors genetically engineered for combat, and their armored exosuits were among the most advanced battlefield systems in the galaxy. When Dravic forces seized several neutral colonies, the Galactic Council demanded they withdraw. They refused. Instead, they issued a challenge. If the Council wishes to stop us, the Dominion warlord declared, send your strongest warriors. Most Council species hesitated. The Dravic were infamous for ground combat supremacy. But humanity stepped forward. A simple response. The human ambassador delivered the message calmly. Earth will respond. The council chamber filled with whispers. Some were relieved. Others were confused. Humans were capable soldiers. Yes, but no one believed they could defeat Dravic war troops in direct combat. The Dominion certainly didn't. Their warlord laughed when he heard the news. Send your soldiers, he said. We will enjoy the demonstration. Arrival at the battlefield. The battlefield was an abandoned colony world. Broken cities and shattered towers stretched across dusty plains, a perfect arena for mechanized combat. The Dravic arrived first. Thousands of towering warriors descended in armored drop pods. They wore exosuits gleaming with energy shields and heavy plasma weapons. Each warrior stood nearly 3 meters tall. They expected a battle. Instead, a single human dropship entered the atmosphere. Council observers watching from orbit were confused. Where's the human army? One asked. The answer came when the dropship landed. The ramp lowered slowly, and one human soldier stepped out. The armor revealed. The soldier wasn't wearing traditional combat gear. He was wearing something far more advanced. A sleek black suit of powered armor covered his body from head to toe. Smooth plates of unknown alloy shifted subtly with every movement, glowing lines of blue energy flowing across its surface. Council scanners struggled to identify the technology. Energy output, impossible, one analyst whispered. The Dravic warlord stared through his command visor. Is this a joke? He snarled. The lone human raised a hand. The helmet retracted. My name is Commander Alex Carter, he said calmly. Mark III battle armor online. What Mark III really was. Human engineers had spent decades developing powered combat systems. The early versions, Mark I and Mark II, were experimental, strong, useful, but limited. Mark III was something else entirely. It wasn't just armor. It was a combat platform. The suit amplified human strength by a factor of 50. Its onboard AI processed battlefield data faster than most Starship computers. Adaptive shields absorbed energy impacts, while microthrusters allowed short bursts of aerial maneuvering. And its weapons, those were revolutionary. The first attack, the Dravic warlord ordered his troops forward. Hundreds of armored warriors charged across the battlefield. To them, the human looked insignificant, small, outnumbered. Commander Carter simply stood still. Threat assessment complete. The armor's AI announced inside his helmet. Combat mode engaged. When the Dravok reached firing range, they opened fire. Plasma cannons lit the battlefield. But the Mark III armor moved faster than their targeting systems could track. The impossible battle. Carter blurred forward. His thrusters ignited, launching him across the battlefield like a missile. The first Dravok warrior swung a massive plasma blade. Carter caught the weapon mid-strike. The Mark III armor crushed it in his grip. Then he punched. The impact sent the armored giant flying 20 meters across the ruins. Council observers stared in disbelief. That is not possible. But the battle had only begun. One against thousands. Carter moved through the battlefield like a storm. His armor predicted enemy movements before they happened. Energy shield deflected plasma blasts. Micro railguns embedded in the suit's forearms fired with surgical precision. One Dravok squad vanished in a burst of hypersonic projectiles. Another collapsed when Carter unleashed a directed energy wave from the suit's reactor core. The battlefield turned into chaos. Thousands of elite Dravok warriors struggled to land a single effective hit, and slowly, impossibly, they began to fall. Shock in orbit. In the observation station above the planet, the Galactic Council watched the battle unfold. "This cannot be real," one elder whispered. A single human soldier was dismantling one of the most feared ground armies in the galaxy. Council sensors analyzed the armor. Energy shielding beyond known standards. Weapon systems compact yet devastating. Mobility rivaling advanced combat drones. The implications were terrifying. If one soldier could do this, how many more did humanity have? The war ends. After 2 hours, the battlefield fell silent. Thousands of Dravok warriors lay defeated across the ruins. Commander Carter stood alone. His armor barely showed damage. The Dravok warlord's transmission arrived moments later. "We surrender." The message was broadcast to the entire Galactic Council. Humanity had won, with one soldier. The Council's realization. When Earth's ambassador returned to the Council chamber, every representative watched him differently. "You hid this technology," one elder said. The ambassador nodded calmly. "Correct." "Why?" His answer was simple. Because power shown too early invites war. Humanity had developed the Mark III battle armor quietly, revealing it only when absolutely necessary. The galaxy now understood the message. Humans were not weak. They were patient. A new balance of power. After the battle, the Dravok Dominion withdrew from the Perseus corridor. The Galactic Council passed new treaties regulating military expansion. But the real change was psychological. Every major power in the galaxy had seen what one human soldier could do. No one wanted to discover what 1,000 could accomplish. The legend of Mark III. Back on Earth, Commander Carter returned to base. Technicians began running diagnostics on the Mark III armor. A young engineer looked at the combat logs and shook his head in disbelief. "So," he said quietly, "they're already calling it the most powerful ground combat system in the galaxy." Carter smiled faintly. "Good," he replied. Then he looked toward the hangar doors. Rows of new armor suits stood waiting in the shadows, each one marked with the next designation. Mark IV.